to the Doctor Who Marathon. I'm your host McEdam, and today we're going to be talking about the interactive game, The Attack of the Graske, written by Gareth Roberts and is directed by Ashley Way. Now this is a very unique story because I don't think we've ever tackled a game before in our marathon. We'll obviously talk about games later on, but this is the first game that... I mean, Doctor Who isn't new to video games. We'd had Destiny of the Doctor back in the 90s. We had The First Adventure on the Atari, Dalek Attack on, I believe it was the BBC Micro, and all of these other gaming stuff. But to be frank, I just hadn't played any of them. And this was actually my first experience with a Doctor Who game. Now this came out the same time as the Christmas Invasion, back in the good olden days, which a lot of kids now won't remember. We used to have the red button option. You would watch a program, usually the news, and you would have a little bit at the corner of the screen that would ask you to press the red button, and in doing so you will get a new menu. For news, it's so that you can read up on all of the specific news that you want to read about, but in few occasions this was left, especially for kids and stuff, to have a short but fun interactive game, and luckily Doctor Who had one in the form of Attack of the Graske. Now the story was mentioned, advertised, I believe it was mentioned right at the end of the credits of the Christmas Invasion, but it appears that nobody had noticed, because I haven't met anybody else who has even heard about this story. Obviously I've all the Doctor Who nerds on the internet, but I haven't actually met someone in real life that knows what this story is, which is very unique because I actually discovered it when it came out, and I was lucky enough to play it on when it first aired. This would be a fun little adventure, filmed like a Doctor Who episode. You had David Tennant reprising his role inside the TARDIS. It was shot like a video. And each segment you would have an interactive bit where the Doctor would ask you to press like 1, 2, 3 or 4, 5, 6 on the buttons on the controller, and then you got to click on it. The games were simple and easy, and it was made for children simply enough, but it's just a very unique experience. It also introduces the Graske, whatever they're called, these small alien creatures that would make their appearance throughout multiple mediums, including the Doctor Who Proms and the Sarah Jane Adventures episode, making their first undisputed official story. Because this story, a lot of people, it's up in the air on whether this is a canonical story or not, you know. But I feel confident in saying it is canon, because later on the Graske will return in the series proper, at least in Sarah Jane Adventures, and I believe this story actually gets mentioned in that, or at least the idea of the Graske have already appeared on Earth before is a topic to debate. But the fact that it has multiple options, and whether getting the answers right or wrong leads into the Doctor saying something different, means that it's very loose in terms of what the story actually is stating. But this is Doctor Who and it's time travel, so it doesn't really bother me. In fact, in the story, they actually have a reasoning, as the Doctor mentions, that the Attack of the Graske is in a time loop, and you can repeat all of these actions as soon as they end, if you so choose. So, yeah, it's a very short game. It only lasts 7 minutes at most. But I just wanted to talk about it because, again, I haven't heard anyone talk about it, and more Doctor Who, the better, you know. So the story sets off as us, the viewing audience, going into the TARDIS. Doors opens, the Doctor calls us in. We see the story from a first-person perspective of a nameless character. The Doctor actually treats like he's talking to someone like through a screen. And he even states like he uses a sonic screwdriver to give our remote controls similar powers to the sonic screwdriver. So in the context of the story, we the viewing audience are actually in the story. So not only is everything canon if you wanted to, but according to this story, you are Doctor Who canon if you choose. And you don't want this canon? Are you mad? Now, what I think about really what really gets this like story is like mainly David Tennant is a great personality. He is a great host, and his Doctor is very child friendly and really encourages the viewer to play with this game, despite it clearly being targeted at a much younger demographic. Probably open up the door for the Sarah Jane Adventures, which would air a few years down the line. It still feels like something that like an adult might not get into but can enjoy in a sense. But what makes the story stand out, what makes the story so fun to go back, is that it actually has a variety of sense. The story starts off with the Doctor. He has gotten into a room. He's tracked the Graske into London in a small family house, but he doesn't know which one, and he asks the viewing audience to try and figure out who is the real and who is the alien. And we've got, like, it shows clips that we can swap between the view of the TV and this girl's camera that is being shown throughout the short. And then something happens. I guess a spoiler if you're considering playing it. The mother eyes glows, and then we as an audience have to pick whether the alien is the mum, the dad, the grandmother, the grandfather, or the boy or the girl. One of those options. If you pick the wrong answer, nothing much really is different. The Doctor points out, like, oh no, sorry, you picked the wrong one. But then the Doctor's like, don't worry, it's glad that I was picking, I noticed the eyes, so I noticed for you. And that goes really for like every option, with the exception of the very end. This story, with the exception of the last option, picking the wrong answer doesn't really change much in the narrative. It's not like if you fail, you get set off in a different plot line. It's very, despite being a very interactive game, it's very focused on its plot line in a sense, which is kind of disappointing because, you know, one of the things about interactive games is that you can wander about, pick a different option, but no, it's nothing like that. It's like small little puzzles, and if you get it, the Doctor congratulates you. But back to what I was talking about, the variety. It turns out that the Graske actually has time travel technology as they go back in time to Victorian London, as the Doctor travels there with them. And we've got this great setting of, despite being only like 7 minutes long, we have a great modern day setting and a great past setting. And the game here at the start of it is you've got to track down the Graske's DNA on a map, and then you've got to click each of the buttons on where the Graske pops up, and then you play this little video, and the camera just kind of spins around all these settings, and we get a real nice atmosphere of this setting. Like, we don't really know any of the characters. You know, there's this old man saying Merry Christmas. There's a young boy trying to brag for money, and it's this woman who might even be a prostitute. She claims like she'll do anything for money. She'll sing all the classics and stuff. But you know, I don't think the intention was to make any of these characters someone that you say, you know, they're there for like seconds. When the camera's like panning around, you see the back of a grass, which is kind of, I remember being really creeped out by that. It's like you're watching like a normal video and then you just notice something off in the background. It's something like that. And then the doctor shows up the layout of the set, and then you've got to tell the doctor where the Graske is hiding. In the present and in the past segments, whether you find the Graske or not, he still takes his victims. He has this ability which it's hard to describe. He kind of it looks like he takes their souls, but the doctor describes it as they replace them with duplicates. So I don't know if the terminology is wrong or the graphics just aren't a great representation of what's actually happening. These alien things get thing, and then we go again with the variety aspect. We actually then travel to the future, to the home planet of the Graske, being I believe it's their only appearance of their home planet, Graphoth, I believe it's called, in which it's stated that they have captured multiple humans from all different timelines and as well as different aliens. In fact, they have a Slovene. The Doctor teleports dematerializes the TARDIS in a particular location, and then the audience has to go to these keypads and do little tasks. The first one is a pattern thing, and I must be honest, playing it again for this marathon, I actually messed up on that. I don't know, this is supposed to be a kid's game and I messed it up. I felt really stupid doing that. The second puzzle then is a number puzzle. That's quite easy, and then there's a key. You got to guess which key goes in the right hole until it opens up to the Graske's base, and we see the Slovene, which actually breaks out and distracts them. And then we, as a viewing audience, has to pick between one of two options. We can either teleport everyone back to their timelines in their proper place and time, or you can freeze the Graskes and everyone there in a time bubble, freezing them in time forever. This is probably the most hilarious decision in the entire of Doctor Who. If you pick the teleporting everyone home, then you save the day. Everyone goes back home. You see the family get reunited as the mother and father are like, what are we doing here? Come on, let's have fun. Let's enjoy and have Christmas. Let's make that Christmas video. The boy from the Victorian London who gets captured also is returned back to his proper body. But you can also pick to freeze everything, ending the game on a much hilariously darker note, but it's still like really light, which I find really funny, as the Doctor is basically just like, you decided to freeze everyone, including the innocent prisoners of the Graske. You decided that. You did. As if he's baffled by the fact that you made such an idiotic decision. We also get cutscenes then to the family, where the Graske duplicates, I believe they're called like the younglings or something like that. The mother and father who've been duplicated, they're like, come on everybody, let's go outside and have a jog, and then we can cut our toenails. And the daughter is like, that's not fair, this Christmas is rubbish, it's ruined. And she storms off to her room. And the Doctor, in this timeline, shall we say, just as like, to us, is like, well done, you've frozen everything and you've messed everything up. And worst of all, you've trapped all those families forever. But worst of all, you sent that girl in a really stroppy mood to bed. That's just hilarious. And then the doctor then, depending on how well you did, either says that you're not good enough, but you might have some potential, so play again, and hopefully then you can become a better companion. Or he says that you're great, I only take the best, and I might actually take up you on your offer of becoming my new companion. So I'll see you whenever, as the camera pans back, and that's the Attack of the Graske. Overall, it's just a small little fun little segment. There's nothing, it's really harmless. It's a fun little game that I enjoyed as a kid. There's nothing really much to it in terms of a plot and stuff, but it's just so strange and odd that, like, we've never had a game since, like this interactive Doctor Who game, with David Tennant looking at the camera and talking to you, the viewing audience. It's so bizarre. But I love it. I absolutely love it. It's something that sticks out in my memory. I always have good memories of this interactive short game. And I hope that this video gets more publicity for this story, because I want to see more people discover this. You might not like it, you might just think it's a bit of fluff, but I don't know, I just feel like it deserves to be mentioned. Ashley Way's directing is very basic and very simplified, but it gets the job done, which makes him a perfect candidate for doing a lot of Doctor Who shorts. He would then go on to direct every episode of the series called TARDISodes, in which there's a small little segment preluding to a full-on Doctor Who episode, which we'll be tackling into. So that's kind of interesting. But yeah, I hope this video gets you interested in Attack of the Graske, and I hope you try it. If you're a UK citizen, you can play it free on the BBC website, or you can play it on your TV on the Season 2 box set, complete box set. So if you have that, you can play it. Very nice. So there you go, that's Attack of the Graske. So join me next time as the Doctor witnesses cat people as there's a mass conspiracy in a futuristic hospital. So join me next time for TARDISode 1 and New Earth. And I'll see you next time on the Doctor Who Marathon. Ta-da!